Do you know what I hate? If I go buy a pair of shoes and I tell them what size I need, and they don't have the size I need, but they decide to come back with like a half size smaller or a half size bigger, and they tell me they run a little bigger or a little smaller. I hate that. If I ask you for a 14, I want a freaking 14. Something similar happened to me today. I went to the gun shop and purchased a 22, and the guy said, "You need any 22 ammo?" I said, "Well, I would actually really like to have some Agia Calibri." And I was very specific that I wanted Agia Calibri. Now, who the heck goes into a gun shop really and is like that specific? I don't think there are that many people. They just want 22. He said, "Oh, I'm not sure if we have that, but we have a lot of Agia." I said, "Yeah, well, they make the Calibri and the Super Calibri. I just want the Calibri." And he says, "Well, we have CCI Quiet." He said, "But it won't cycle a semi-auto." I said, "I know." I said, "I have CCI Quiet at home. I use it in a revolver." I said, "But they do make CCI Quiet semi-automatic that will cycle." No. They don't. The Quiet won't cycle a semi-automatic." And I said, "No, they make CCI Quiet that is for semi-automatic." I said, "I have it at home. I know." And the guy still couldn't get it through his head. So we go to look. They have a ton of Agia 22 ammo. They have lots of different types. Unfortunately, they did not have the Calibri. And they didn't have the Super Calibri. But again, I just cared about this one. I cared about the Calibri. Before he even gets to the Calibri, he pulls out a brick of 500 CCI Quiet. And he plops it on the counter. And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to look at the Calibri now." So I just leave it there. I don't want a freaking brick of CCI Quiet. I have a whole bunch of it. I don't want it. So he said, "Oh, we don't have it." And then I said, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "Well, do you want this?" I said, "No." I already told the guy 5 times, "No, I don't want it." Again, I wear a size 14 shoe. It's like you're trying to sell me a size 12. What am I going to do with a size 12? I don't want a size 12. I want a 14. Same thing with this. Now, for those of you who aren't 22LR nerds, the Agia Calibri has just a 20 grain bullet in it. And as you can see from here, let me just pull this up a little bit. It just fires with a primer, or the priming powder, I should say. It's subsonic, only a 20 grain bullet, and it's at 420 feet per second. Now, this particular one is excellent for backyard shooting when you don't want to bother anyone, and your big tactical mission for the day is poking some holes in a paper target. It's perfect for that. It's awesome. You're going to be 25, 30 feet away. You're going to be shooting a paper target. You want to keep it quiet. It doesn't get better than this. Now, there's also another one that is Agia Super Calibri. So before I started making this video, I checked out to see how many feet per second that one is. Now, this one, remember, is 420 feet per second. The Super Calibri is 535 feet per second. Unfortunately, I forget how many grains the bullet is, but it's 535 feet per second. So if you're going for being quiet, the 535 is going to be probably a bit louder. I don't think it'll be a lot louder, but a bit louder. And again, at 535 feet, I think it's probably best suited for shooting paper. I mean, you're not getting many foot-pounds out of there, unless, of course, you want to get some kind of really, really small pest. Probably be good for that. Now, the CCI Quiet this guy was trying to push, if you see here, is 710 feet per second, 40 grain bullet. Now, 710 feet per second is well below being subsonic. Okay? It's a very good round. I could see how you would use it for pest control, because it's not going to make a whole lot of sound. And if you used it out of a rifle barrel, particularly a longer rifle barrel, I could see how it would be fairly quiet, especially when compared to a typical 22, which might be 1,050, 1,075 feet per second, or something a little warmer, like say a mini mag, or just flat out hotter, like a Velocitor or a Stinger. Okay. Now, this guy couldn't wrap his head around the fact that there was quiet 22 for semi-auto. I have some. I don't feel like going through all my ammunition looking for it because I think I got like maybe 4 or 5 boxes like this. I don't feel like looking for it. But guess what? I looked up the stats on it. 835 feet per second. So again, 835 feet per second. It's probably going to be a teeny bit louder than the 710. They'll have a little bit more power in it. And in theory, it's supposed to cycle a semi-automatic. It's supposed to have just enough juice to do that. Now, I don't know if it will or won't. I don't know. From everything I've heard, this one does not cycle semi-automatics at all. So it's excellent for single shot, bolt action, and revolvers. The 830, the one that goes 835, the CCI Quiet 22, it's supposed to cycle semi-autos. Again, I don't know. I trust CCI, so if they say it does, I'll make the assumption that more often than not it does because I've never had an issue with them at all. I think it's a good company. But you can tell that these two are pretty freaking different. I mean, 420 feet per second to 710 feet per second. That's a 290 foot per second difference. I mean, that's like 75% faster than this. Now, if he had this one that was like 440 feet per second or 450, then I can understand, bringing that up. But, I mean, it's like 75% faster than this. The bullet is twice the weight. I don't understand why you'd be pushing that. Like, is this guy? Do they read the boxes? And by the way, this isn't like, you go into some of these gun shops. It's like one guy working there, maybe 2 guys working there. This is a freaking massive gun shop. I mean, I think you'd have to probably travel pretty far in a densely populated state to get one as big as this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they got at least 12, 13 people working there on a weekend. Lots and lots and lots of customers going in and out. Good-sized parking lot, always full. So this is a place that does a large quantity of business. I mean, they're huge. They sell in gun broker. They have a pretty big business and whatnot. And it just kind of bugs me. I know a lot of people are going to say, like, who cares? But, it's just like you're looking for something particular, and then you just make the assumption that the customer doesn't know what they're doing. I don't really open my mouth unless I know what I'm talking about. I know he doesn't know me from Adam, but, pretty big difference here. So, I just kind of want to pass that along, that if you're looking for, like, subsonic and they're just trying to ram something down your throat, don't take it. Look around. Because if you're looking for quiet rounds to maybe do some varmint hunting in your yard, kind of want to lay low, that might not be bad. This one, I don't know how effective it would be if you're going to take care of little rodents in your yard. It might be just fine, but I'm just saying it's 420 feet per second, 20 grain bullet. 710 feet per second, 40 grain bullet. They have two totally, totally different purposes, in my opinion. Well, this is pretty quiet. This should actually be called Pretty Quiet 22 because it is pretty quiet. This one is just quiet, especially like I said, if you use a long-barreled rifle, especially. I think the longest barrel I've used it in is 16 inches, and it's pretty quiet. I actually used it indoors with a 16-inch barrel, and it was pretty quiet. So I could just picture using it outside with like a 20-inch barrel. It would be even quieter. It's kind of like a great thing for people who want to suppress 22, but maybe you can't have it because of where you live. So I have rambled on long enough about this. But if you like these kind of videos, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe and like, and you have a good day.